Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I am your host Maxine and we're on episode 57. All right, so I feel like I always start with the all right. All right, so boy, do I have an update, or girl, do I have an update. Okay. So I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this nigga because it's like, what happened now? But I am going to still talk about him because I just feel like I've taken you guys on this journey with this dude. And I'm talking about Boston Bay, of course. On and off nigga who we rekindle and we'll fall out, we'll rekindle and then we'll fall out, like the epitome of on and off. Like when you look up on and off, literally those two words together, hyphenated together, you see an image of him. Okay, on and off, and you'll see me too, but you'll see his face primarily, and then you'll see me like in the shadow. Okay, so I just feel like it's only right, it's only fair to take you and continue to be transparent on this journey. Well, on this now end of a journey with him. And I'm saying this with more confidence now than I've had before. And I felt like I've been a broken record about it. And I totally get it. You may not even believe me. Hell, I may not even believe me. But I do believe that I've run my course with him. I feel like now that I am just more in tune with who I am and what I want, what I deserve, my boundaries, and just feeling my body and like noticing how my body reacts to certain things. Like if your body is cringing or is anxious, that's telling you something. Your body is telling you something. And I think we often sometimes don't recognize that or don't take our body as a clear indicator of what to do. And because we don't know, we don't have the education, and I wasn't taught about learn your body, respect your body. You know, just up until the past few years, I've been embracing my body, embracing my sensuality, embracing who I am. So of course I didn't know body, like I'm just now feeling what it feels to be not at war with my body. And by that, what I'm saying is like not be uncomfortable in it, like kind of walk in pride and in confidence, and not in a nasty way, but in a just adoring who you are type of way. Anyway, I say all that to say, yeah, I think I'm really done with him. And I've hinted towards the last episode how I was just like, here we go again. We're back at it being off again or whatnot. And I just want to get some more context, because I wasn't given a lot of context in the previous episodes. I'm going to give a little bit more context to provide some understanding. Okay, so we went on I joined him on an impromptu trip. It was super last minute. So last minute to the point where he happened to have FaceTime me when he was in Atlanta. And we're talking, kikiing, and I happened to say, oh, how far is Atlanta from Houston? Just kind of flippantly, just talking shit. And he was like, oh, what's he trying to say? Would you come over? Like, would you want to come over type of thing? And I'm like, well, sure. Like, I mean, cool. Trip to Atlanta. And it was all expense paid, covered by him. So I was like thrilled. It was exciting. But what I noticed with him and throughout our history, I don't allow myself to say, oh, no, wait, I already have plans. Or, oh, no, wait, let me check my schedule. It's always me suddenly always being free for him, when he always has a schedule, when he always has something going on that interrupts us from being together, from spending time together, etc. Yet I always show myself to be available. And I spoke too soon in that moment and was so in tune with being excited for that moment that I didn't realize that, oh, I already had plans the day that he was flying me out. And I already paid for the tickets for those plans. So it was already said and done. And I was already looking forward to those said plans. But it didn't hit me until until he already booked it. And I'm just like, oh, shit. Well, it's not, and I'm trying to talk it down. Like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm trying to say that to myself. But that is a tell sign of, no, you have to listen to yourself. And you should put yourself first. Like, I'm done with the whole that's selfish or whatever. You should check with yourself first before you commit to being with anyone, right? You should always check in with yourself and see, oh, wait, before I say yes to this plan with him, let me see what I already had going on. Because it's not like I was laying out and waiting, twiddling my thumbs, hoping that he'll suddenly be in Atlanta on a whim and happen to pay for the expense for me to be there with him. Okay, so yet I just allowed the excitement of the spontaneity just scoop me up and just completely washed away my plans as if my plans aren't important. So that's definitely on me for sure. I don't blame him because he didn't know, but I also, that's definitely on me. I'm not gonna say a but to that. That is on me. So that's a lesson learned for sure. Anyway, being that it was like just and I said this in the previous episode kind of loosely, it was a whack trip. Like, I don't know why I went to, so he was there because it's an annual thing with him and his boys, etc., etc. They celebrate one of his friends' birthday, whatever. And so I'm stepping into what was already a plan for him, right? So I'm essentially interrupting what he already has going on. And in my mind, it didn't feel like an entire interruption because I just assumed and thought, well, you're so gung-ho about flying me out to you that I would be more present in this day and in this time that you have paid for me to be here, right? But that wasn't the case entirely. There were about 8 hours, not 8 hours, let's say 6. I'm being dramatic. Maybe not 8, but there was about 6 hours spent alone, me, myself, and I, in his hotel room while he went out with his boys for whatever plan they had that day. There was like this emotional thing that he and his friends do to commemorate one of their lost soldiers, whatever the case is. And I obviously wasn't a part of that plan, but I did not presume that it was going to take that long, right? Then apparently there was to explain the length of time that I was alone, he already had this a listening party that his friend had, and it just happened to all work out in that same moment in time. But there was just a lack of clarity communicated to me, which led me to feel like, okay, what the fuck? You brought me here for what? To fuck? And that's really, when I think about it now, it really felt like, okay, I was just here to fuck. No. Hello. Yeah, you flew me to fuck, and that's what we did. We had breakfast, and I stayed in your hotel room. Oh, prior to me staying in your hotel room, we happened to come across some of his friends. And maybe it's not happenstance, of course, because it was all in the same hotel, kind of. But meet them just a quick minute, and then I'm with me, myself, and I for 6 hours. Now, y'all know I like my own company. I'm totally fine with being by myself when that is the intention. If I fly out, which was essentially what I realized was out of my inconvenience, this completely inconvenienced me, because I realized, oh shit, I already had a plan set for this day, but you know what, he already booked it, I'm not gonna say anything, but whatever. But I already had, like, I didn't expect to be alone for X amount of time, maybe 2 hours, maybe, or if anything, include me into what you already had planned, knowing that you flew me out here. I didn't beg of you. I was just talking shit and you just happened to bite the bait yet again. Or maybe I gotta watch what I say with these niggas, because they don't, I don't know, I feel like people don't get me. A lot of people don't get my humor sometimes, okay? But anyway, him in particular, because he's super not humorous. Like, this nigga is stick up his ass. But I'm just like, okay, let me not be a clingy girl right now, right? Let me not express the disdain that I'm feeling about this moment in time I'm spending alone. Especially, this was the alone time that happened right after he had an attitude with me, when I asked him, after we like finished waking up, and it was like probably 2 or 3 hours post our last meal, and I just happened to ask very casually, I wasn't saying with the attitude, I was very, very casually asking, oh, do you have any snacks? Now, he knows I'm a foodie. Y'all know I'm a foodie. Like, people who know me, people who don't know me know I'm a foodie. What? Either way, my point is, his reaction in that moment was just a quick turnaround, and it reminded me yet again why this ain't gonna work out, why this doesn't work out, why this nigga is like, what is it, Jekyll Hyde. He has a short fuse, and it feels like, oh, if I don't say the right thing, he's gonna like suddenly turn into the Hulk. You know? And anyway, so his reaction in that moment was just like, wow, what you, Maxie, you know I ain't got no, like, it was just a quick turnaround, like, nigga, relax. You could have had Pringles in your bag. You're like, you could have had Lay's in your bag. You could, like, it was a simple question that I asked in a light-hearted tone. There was no evilness in my voice. It was just like not that deep for him to have that reaction. His reaction was not warranted. And so that left a really bad taste in my mouth. And it was in that moment that he left me to go continue with his already made plans and leave me alone for a solid 6 hours. And I'm just sitting there like, is this for real? Like, I literally left the hotel, went to go get some snacks, went to go get some food, whatever. Returned, still wasn't back. He made it seem like he was going to be back in a short while. Didn't hear from him until he finally was back. And then he preempted to say, oh, well, you know, get dressed, we're going to go out. And we were talking earlier that day of going to this fancy restaurant called Del Frisco's, which I still have yet to go. And I'm about to just go by myself, because fuck these niggas. Because there was another nigga who was supposed to take me out, and that nigga, what's his name? The Uncle Winslow ass nigga still didn't do it. So over all of them niggas, old and young. Anyway, so I get dressed. I'm fancy. I'm looking good. I put makeup on. I don't like getting dressed. I really don't care to get dressed. If I could just walk out and be in sweats or be in casual gear and not be judged, or everyone be in that same gear where it don't feel like, oh, why come she's not dressed? I would love that world. Okay? I don't mind getting dressed sometimes. It's okay. But it's just a lot of effort that you take and put into the time that you put into putting on your makeup and putting on a dress that doesn't necessarily feel the most comfortable, or wearing heels that aren't the most comfortable. So anyway, I'm getting dressed. I'm excited because I'm thinking it's going to be just me and him. Alone time, a nice, cute, fancy dinner date. And even if it was going to be joined by his friends, at least, we're all out. I get to be a part of this community of his niggas and really find my footing. Yay. Bitch was wrong. I was wrong, okay? We ended up not going to Del Frisco's because, you didn't check the time? They close at 9 and you're picking me up at 10:45. Sir, where are we going? So we ended up going to this bootleg ass Hooters. And of course the kitchen is closed because we're arriving at 11 now. Why would you, and why are you getting an attitude with the waiter when we're walking in the restaurant at 11? The kitchen is closed. Like, at this point, niggas need to just stop. Like, I feel like there's a lot of niggas out there who look for an argument. And it's like, no, you're in the wrong. We're walking into this establishment as soon as they're about to mop the floor, and we're talking about, can I get the steak? Steak? Nigga, we closed the refrigerator. It's locked. And you want a steak? So I'm sitting there looking dope, titties out, face snatched, hair still looking right and put together. I was like freshly retwisted, heels on, body glistening, at a motherfucking mom and pop Hooters. Bring me home. I'm so annoyed. And at this point, I was already like in the company of his niggas and his bitches. Not his bitches, but like there were some women there who, I don't know, they had a relationship with him. I don't know what the story was, but they seemed kind of stank. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, this is not my crowd. And I essentially could kind of, I'll get along with anyone. Like, I know how to have a conversation and, bring light to a room. But, when you just know, okay, this ain't your people. Like, yeah, we ain't fucking with. Like, this is not my crew. This wasn't my crew. Why am I here? And I'm just sitting there pissed. And I'm trying to be a good girl, a good guest. A good first impression. I'm trying to make that because I'm just now meeting his friends and his people for the first time. These are his nigga friends. He has another set of friends who are a little bit more reformed, but these are his nigga friends. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm annoyed as fuck, and maybe my face isn't beaming with light, but I'm going to try my best to just keep it together because I'm pissed. Okay? So I know he peeps it. I know he's not that dumb. He is aware of my attitude. Like, he could tell that I'm not as talkative. I'm not loquacious at all. I'm not at all demonstrating a charismatic behavior as usual. And if he was someone who genuinely cared about my well-being, about my welfare, about just his love for me, he would ask, babe, what's going on? What's wrong? You good? I want to make sure. Like, there is no affection from him. And I know this. And I knew this. And everything I was like, I needed to see, I was seeing more and more. And it's just like, damn, God, I know you're funny. Because God will show you. And I'm bringing God into it because he's in it, okay? But God will show you what you need to see, however many times you need to see it, and in whatever form or fashion you need to see it in. And this was in the form of fashion of being in my inconvenience. This was in the 11,000th time of him showing me this nigga can't give you what you want. And of course, I've described that I don't want a clingy, all up on me nigga like my ex was. But I do want someone who is emotionally available and emotionally vulnerable to be a level of affection for me. Like, I'm sitting in the chair. I'm like holding myself tight. I'm not as charismatic as I usually am. I'm not showing my teeth as I usually do. I'm not cracking jokes as I usually do. Nigga, something is the matter. Like, why won't you have someone who is supposedly someone who cares about me? Why aren't you inquiring to see how can I make her feel good? All he cared about was himself. All he cared was about being in this state of sobriety and not is it sobriety, but highness. That's what I'm trying to say. That he either could care less or could not recognize, but I really think he saw and recognized and could care less, right? So anyway, all of that left a bad taste in my mouth. We texted. Like, I let him know when I arrived back to Houston. We texted very lightly and then didn't hear, like, I didn't hear from him. I didn't text him like a few days after. So it was like 5 days post. He texted me off random. It was like, hey. And I'm just like, why the fuck do you do this? Like, you go missing and you act like nothing's happened. And I know what I was doing. I knew I was like picking a fight. But I had that genuine disturbance. Like, I had that genuine concern about it because it's like, don't you realize you do this? And his take, like he always does, he always flips around to me and he always says, well, it takes two, or it goes both ways type of thing. And it's like, yeah, but no. And I say no because I just think as a man, as someone who says cares about me, has some, like, you're the leader in this, you're the shape shift in this. You should be interested in seeing, hey, what's going on, hey, how you doing? Like, you shouldn't continue this dumbass game and play with your pride when it comes to communicating with me. Like, that shouldn't be a thing, but it has been a thing between us for too long. And so that's why it has been just, oh, well, this is what we've been doing. This is what it is. Anyway, I'm to the point where I'm over it. Like, I'm not attracted. I'm not taken aback. I'm not. And I think back to like the episodes where I would talk about, what I say, like, every time we rekindle, we progress like a little bit more, like, we progress in a little bit of an inch and then we go all the way back. Like, you know how people say you take one step forward and you take, damn, I just took 13 steps back. Nigga, we took a foot back. We took like, my leg is back, my arm, like, that's how many backs we're taking. Like, there's no forwardness. It's always the same thing. We're always at the same point in our situationship, and there is no room for growth. Like, literally, I don't care how many times we rekindle. I don't care how many times we have a heart to heart or a heart to an image or of a makeshift of a heart conversation. He still cannot provide what I need. Like, he can't, like, just him in his natural element cannot do that. He cannot. Some people may say, well, people could grow, people could change, he could learn how to. I agree with that, but he can't. Like, and that's what it is. Like, he is not at all a team player. He's not at all someone who is understanding, who is compassionate, who is accountable. He is quick to gaslight you. He's quick to make you feel like, no, it's you. He can never see both sides. And it's to the point where, nigga, I'm over it. Like, stop. He texted me just the other day talking about, oh, you still mad at me? because I was annoyed with something that he said. Because he'll have these random ass conversations with me. Like, we won't talk for a few days. He'll hit me up with a hey, and I'm like, hey. And then his next question, or his third question, will be, you been working out? And I don't believe, and I could see how he could think that I'm overreacting, but I'm so tired of that question. I'm saying tired of that question because he asks me that question almost every time he texts me. Like, almost every time he texts me, he's asking, have I been working out? Oh, you work out? When's the last time you worked? Like, he would always ask that question. And it's to the point where it's like, nigga, are you monitoring me? Is there a camera? Did you not see I went to the gym the other day? Like, am I supposed to check in with you to make sure that my body is right and tight for you? Like, all of these thoughts are coming into my mind about why I just don't like that question. Stop asking me that question. And so I'm saying all these things. He's like, oh, I'm overreacting, I'm overanalyzing. What'd he say? I'm overreacting, I'm overanalyzing, and that he's, I'm just into fitness myself, and so that's why. And I just came from working out, so that's why I asked. And it's like, no, duh, you're into, like, I know you're into fitness. Stop asking me that. Obviously, like, that he's never willing to see how I see it. Right? Like, you always ask me these questions. Like, we have these, like, surface ass conversations most of the time. And it's like, don't you see that it's surface level? And that I'm tired of always responding to these surface ass questions, these appearance ass questions. Like, there's no substance. Like, what's underneath this? And I don't even care to find out what's underneath it, because every time we do go underneath it all, he's always like garbage dumping upon me, childhood drama, how he was brought up, how he didn't, like, all these things. It's like, nigga, I'm your therapist, but there's no commitment still. Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm tired of hearing your shit. I'm tired of you not being compassionate. I'm tired of saying, oh, there's progression, but I'm sounding like a fool because there's really no progression, because every slight moment of progression continues to dwindle and just wipe away with another moment. Like, I'm just, like, I have no desire. And it's to the point where he would text me, I'm just like rolling my eyes like, ugh. And that's telling. Like, if your body is reacting and your stomach kind of clenches up, or your eyes roll, or your palms get sweaty because, oh, said person texted you again or contacted you in some way, let that nigga go. Like, there's no reason for me. I'm not losing anything. And that's what it is. Like, I had to sit with myself and be like, what am I holding on to? What is he providing me with that I can't seem to let go, that I can't seem to grasp in my own life, with someone new or just within myself? Like, what? And I can't think of anything. He doesn't fulfill anything in me. It's just, what the thing is between us is that he's just been someone who has been consistently inconsistent in my life. And it is just kind of like, well, I've grown accustomed to him. The comfort level is there, to a T. And so why not? Let me just, let's see how far we could go. Maybe he'll get better next time. It's always a hope for the future thing. Never a pleasure and a acceptance and a contentment in the moment. It's never that, but it's always well, I just know in the future he's gonna be this type of guy. I just know in the future he's gonna be that. Like, no, nigga, who are you right now, sir? How are you pleasing me right now? I'm tired of holding my breath to see how this will go in the future, when it's already been 3 years in of me knowing this nigga and us being on and off, and there hasn't been any type of, like, how just 2 months ago you started eating my pussy, and that's the first time. Like, that was the first time he did that. That's not progression. Like, that's not progression. I'm telling you, it's not progression. That is late as fuck. I'm over here super excited. Oh, yo, he was, and oh my, it was so good. Like, he was holding out on this, blah, blah, blah. No, you're late. If you're not eating my pussy the third date, we have no, like, we don't have to, what are we doing? Sir, anyway, I said that to say, I hooked up with somebody recently. Nigga ate my pussy the first day. Like, hello? This is so fun. At some point, I'm going to get tired of, like, telling all my business. I mean, maybe not. I enjoy this. But my point is, why is everything so late? And I'm not saying we have to immediately, like, I'm not saying when you meet somebody, you have to immediately fall in love, fall into this type of intense romance. No, but there should be progression at a steady flow. It shouldn't be 3 years later and you're just now eating my pussy. Nigga, what? Anyway, I pretty much said to him, you know, look, I'm not going to keep on repeating myself to you, you know, the way, and I brought up the whole snacks thing because I really didn't like the way he spoke to me. And it's not about the snacks. Like, I'm not mad that he didn't have snacks, and I feel like it sounds like I'm a fat girl right now. I'm seriously not. I don't care about the snacks. I care about the way you speak to me. I care about the way you address me. I care about that. And now that I'm more into creating boundaries and speaking up for myself and standing up for and knowing my own self-worth, I'm not going to allow you to speak to me, no matter how minimal the conversation or the topic is. You're not going to talk to me like that. That's what you're not going to do. And I will bring it up until you understand and until you do better and until you apologize. But when I did that, you know, when I said that to him, I'm like, yeah, you know, you were dismissive and you clearly had an attitude. And he's so quick to be like, oh, no, I didn't have attitude. You had attitude. It's like, nigga, can you admit to something that you did wrong? Like, you just perfect. Like, okay. But it's just always a pull. I feel like it's always a pull for control or some type of contention between us. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's an older nigga thing, because with my ex, it was an older nigga thing. Like, he was an older man, and there was a pull for control. But I also felt like he was trying to control me. So maybe I just don't need to be with dudes who are 8 years plus. maybe that's it, Lord. But anyway, I say that to him, and I'm just like, you know, you were dismissive, and that's the pattern between us. You speak to me in a dismissive way, and you know, I'm not gonna repeat myself anymore. I said that. That was the last line I said to him in that text. And his immature ass, no matter how much older he is from me, like, he is still immature as fuck. He's petty. He's the type of nigga who you will have a serious conversation with him via text, and he will respond with a slew of LMAOs. Nigga, what are you laughing your ass off about? Like, me respectfully and maturely articulating myself and breaking down how I feel, you're responding with the LMAO? If that don't irate the shit out of me, and I've been in the bait on that with him, because he's done this several times, of course. Everything's a fucking pattern, and I just continue to kind of put it under the rug. And so he LMAO'd, and I'm just like, well, he didn't just say that, but he is included LMAO within the words that he texted me, saying, just kind of turning around on me, saying that you laughing about snacks or whatever, call me a weirdo. Like, this nigga, and it's a name calling. Like, he's quick to call me a name. He's quick to throw low blows and, like, say, oh, that's why you always, what he say? That's why you like, you gonna be single because you always, that's why you gonna have a podcast talking about niggas because you always, you know, you're the problem. But like, just turning around on me. And It's like, no. Like, I reject all of that. Like, there is no bearing to what he says. Like, this is all a deflection. Like, you know how you could see in between the lines and there's no, like, nigga, you hold no weight. Like, there is, okay, I'm okay. Like, there is no weight to what you're saying to me right now because I know I'm fucking right. Like, I know a sensible man will come approach me one day and be right, and there's nothing that I need to do to dumb down who I am. Like, there's a point in your life when you grow up and you're like, you know what, no, I am fucking right, I know what I'm saying is clear, and I know the boundaries that I'm setting are necessary, and I shouldn't have to loosen up. That's what he said to me. Nigga, I'm the loose bitch here. I just fucked a dude a few days ago who I just met. Loose. I'm the definition of loose. Like, but no, I'm not gonna say that to him because what? Because what? Because what? Okay? So why, like, my whole thing is, he is so quick to turn it around on me and just make it feel like I'm crazy. And previous mama would soak that in and be like, oh my gosh, I am crazy. Oh my gosh, he is right. No one's going to understand me. No one's going to give me what I need. I'm asking for too much. I'm being too much. I'm too much. No. I am enough. Period. Period, poo. Like, I'm enough. And that doesn't mean I'm perfect. It doesn't mean I don't overreact sometimes. But I could definitely see that. Like, I am so introspective. I'm so reflective. I'm all those actives, okay? That I'm able to recognize when I am being that way. Whether it's in that moment I could recognize it or later on. But I could definitely recognize that within myself. And I could still see that I'm right and I'm enough. Like, and it's not about being right or wrong. It's not about a pride thing, but it's about, no, this is what is right for me. This is what I am no longer accepting from you. I don't care what your advice is. He's like, for future reference. Like, nigga, what the fuck up? Spell reference. Your hood ass. And I know it's not gonna lead us, but please shut the fuck up. Get out of my face. And he had the nerve to use the word derive. I can't believe you will derive to that conclusion. Nigga, shut the fuck. Spell derive. Mama, he texted you that. I don't care. Spell it again. Spell it without the auto-tune. Autocorrect. Fucking derive to the conclusion. Spell both of those words, nigga. Derive and conclusion. Kiss my black ass. Anyway, it feels good to be at a point where when people say negative things and they paint it like criticism, constructive feedback for you, it feels good to be at a point where you could clearly and confidently reject that. Like, there is no bearing to what you're saying, and nigga, no. Okay. And so it ended off with me saying, he was like, oh, you clearly yearn for, I don't want to bring it up right now. I'm been meaning to delete the text, and I'm going to. But I'm just like, let me just kind of still ruminate in these feelings. But the last few words that we exchanged was, he was saying, oh, you clearly yearn for companionship, and I'm not, hold on. I'm going to bring this up real quick, because I'm going to wrap this up and tie it with the bow. Okay? Anyway. You clearly yearn for companionship, but clearly I'm not the kind of guy for you anyway. Take care, sis. I'm done. Like, sir, are you a 16-year-old calling me sis? Like, and then so, because prior to that, I said, like, I called him out on him calling me a name. And I'm like, you can't have a conversation without being rude. Shake my head. Just leave me alone. That's all I, like, that was the end of what I said previously. He goes on with 5 paragraphs texting me separately in 5 paragraphs, and then he ends it with, yeah, you clearly yearn for companionship, but clearly I'm not the kind of guy for you anyway. Take care, sis. You don't have to worry about me contacting you ever again. Trust me. Now, let me get to that in a second. But what I said was, yeah, it's clear that you're not the guy for me, period. And he said, bye, Max. But I'm not feeding into that, because he lives off, I think he literally thrives off of people getting irate and getting irritated by him. I think that's how he gets his dick hard. Like, I really think that is something that gets him off. And when I am short and sweet, I get to the point, I don't need to feed into that dick. I don't, nigga. Okay, yeah, you're not the guy for me. I've been trying to break up with you for how, like, I can't tell y'all. Well, I can't tell y'all, because if you could kind of track it throughout this podcast, since I began this podcast, how many times I've ended it with this nigga. Like, I remember moving out here the first month or the second month of me out here, and I said, you know, I was just feeling again, like, let me just end this with him. This is not going anywhere. This is not going where I want it to go. He can't give me what I need. And I ended it very maturely, very calmly, like, look, I think it's best that we just end it, you know, and I'm super mature about it. I think he responded for the first time maturely, like, yeah, okay, I wish you the best, or okay, Max, you know, be safe, or take care, you know. And I've had that conversation, like, I've had this with him several times. This nigga has never, quote unquote, broken up with me. Like, he has never let me go. Okay, every time I would break up with him, he would always find his way back. And it's, of course, half my fault, because that door will be open for him. So it's this whole, you clearly yearn for companionship, whatever. Yeah, okay. Like, okay, what's your point? Like, am I supposed to feel bad about that? There is no, it's just the weirdest thing. So him saying, what really just made me laugh, or maybe chuckle actually, was him saying, you don't have to worry about me contacting you ever again, trust me. He literally, you guys, said those words to me many times before. Like, and you know what? He contacted me yet again. This whole trust me, don't worry about it, Max, I would never hit you up again, best believe, LOL, LMAO, you'll never hear from me again. Nigga will be so hard about being this tough ass macho guy, and will text me yet again. He will slide in my DMs yet again. And it's like, okay. And it's not like I'm looking forward to it, or that I'm yearning for it. Not at all. But it's like, cut the shit. Like, okay. And maybe he's saying that to me. You know, many times I've broken up with him and I've allowed him back in, and he's probably thinking like, oh, cut the shit. No, but for real, I'm done. But anyway, I didn't feed into it. I just ended it like it was. And I was like, yeah, it's clear that you're not the guy for me. That's it. And that's just it. Like, I don't have to go back and forth with somebody. I don't have to send long messages. I'm going to be short and sweet. I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to be succinct about it. And that's it. Like, we don't have to do this. And he want to have the last word. Bye, Max. Nigga, bye. Like, leave me alone. And I meant that. Okay? Anyway, I just think it comes a point when you're dealing with the fuckboy that you eventually get tired, and you finally you have an aha moment, and you'll have several aha moments. And I've had several aha moments. But I'm just like over it. Like, there's no aha. It's gonna be something different. It's just, nigga, please leave me the fuck alone. Like, there's really no desire to rekindle. Like, there was no fulfillment at all. Anyway, I felt good letting that out. So thank you for tuning into that. I do want to talk about a previous hookup I had. I'm going to say hookup. I feel like when I be saying fucking and shit, it be so heavy. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. But Okay, so this hookup literally just happened. Not right now, like not like before I recorded this. No, but like 2 days ago, just happened. That type of level. Anyway, what I am just gonna say, I'm about to wrap this up, but what I am gonna say is that I really think I could do casual sex. I really don't, because I realized that, yo, I'm jealous. What, like, I don't know, like, it's one thing to do casual sex and I never see you again. It's like, okay, you just never existed, you know, but it's another thing to do casual sex with somebody and you'll see him again in another group setting and he's, like, close friends with some of your friends in that group setting, and it's like, oh, I'm definitely gonna see you again, and oh, this is just a casual thing, oh, shit, actually kind of liked you. Oh, this is just a moment thing. Like, oh, nigga, I'm gonna kill you. Like, what? Like, I just, And of course, when you're in the moment, right, prior to the hookup happening, there is just the thrill of it, the excitement. Like, he was great. He was a great time. Like, our body meshed. Kisses were great. Like, it was a really good time. Prior to that happening, though, we connected well, like, laughed, we talked. It was just a nice vibe. Like, and you know I'm big on vibes. So it was just disappointing to know that, oh, this isn't going anywhere. And I knew that prior to us regrouping with the whole group, because he shared, like, he told me, like, he doesn't live in Houston. He frequently fly out here. He has people out here and a business out here that he started with his friends. So, like, he could be here just fine, but he lives in another state. And so there was pretty much like, this ain't going nowhere. So let's just, okay. Anyway, it was just, like, unfortunate because, oh, I wonder if you lived here in Houston and this could, like, all these, and I'm just thinking to myself, why am I always having these casual hookups with niggas who aren't here? Like, I remember the last not the last one, this is one of the last ones. And nigga lived in Chicago. He was here for the weekend. And, like, I'm always meeting these weekend ass niggas. Like, sir, I'm trying to build a family. I'm trying to be your wife, and you tell me you live in Indiana? Sir, where do we go from here? Like, where do we go from here? Anyway, I say that, then one thing I want to give a disclaimer to all you ladies out there. And this was definitely a lesson learned for me. A bitch be learning lessons every day. Fuck. At some point, when can I be the teacher? Like, in my personal life, not just in my professional life. I'm over here learning things more than I am teaching them. Anyway, but when a nigga says I love you during the first hookup, please don't believe him. I do this so y'all don't have to do this. Yo, when I tell you he was saying, I love you down, I love you so much, don't ever leave me. Oh, I like just super, tell me you love me. Tell me, like, super, and nigga, I love you. Like, okay, I love you too. Like, ain't nobody arguing with you then, nigga. Go ahead. I love you too. I love you so much too. What's up? That's what I was doing. And of course I didn't believe, like, no, I didn't love him, but it was just like, I liked, and when a nigga says he doesn't usually do this, like, I don't usually say I love you, I don't usually act clingy, like, he was a little clingy on me, but it was a good clingy, like, I enjoyed it. But he was saying how he don't usually do this. When a nigga says that, don't believe him, okay? Because I've been that girl who'll say, oh, I don't usually give it up this early. That's a lie. Nigga, what? Hello, what's up? First text. What's up? So please don't say I love you if you don't mean it. And I can laugh about it now because I'm just like, oh man, okay, this ain't nothing, whatever, it's over. But it just, in that moment, it felt good. Then the next day came, we rekindled with the whole group, and it was as if we didn't have this passionate, mind-blowing hookup just a few hours ago. Like, he's over here, I mean, he wasn't acting weird, but he wasn't drunk anymore. Let's just say that. Like, he wasn't putting it on me. He was conversing with everybody else more so than I felt like than that he was with me. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, but you said you loved me last night though. Okay, got it. Like, okay, so you gonna sit right there and be chummy chum with this bitch between us? That's no offense to the bitch between us, but you gonna be chummy chum chum? Yet just 8 hours ago, you were saying, don't leave me. And I love you so much, baby. Hey, I'm telling you, weekend niggas, before I hook up with my next guy, whoever he is, and I hope this guy is a keeper, I want him to not be a weekend nigga, okay? And what is a weekend nigga? A weekend nigga is somebody who's literally here for the weekend. He doesn't live in the same proximity as you. Nigga's not in the same state. Nigga's just here for the weekend, okay? I don't want a weekend nigga anymore. I want a weekly nigga, monthly nigga. What's my yearly nigga? Okay? Because I have to be honest with myself. As much as I do enjoy the thrill and the excitement of casual sex, it does not serve me because I'm a jealous bitch. I will kill her. Why you chummy chum with her? And I'll kill you too. And then kill me later. I'm kidding. I wouldn't kill me. Just y'all two. I'm kidding. Just kidding. But look, look. I have to screen the guys prior to anything happening close to a hookup. I have to ask, look, where do you live? Where do you rest your head? Where do you work? Do you live in the same state as me? What are you looking for? And of course, niggas could lie. But essentially, do you at least live in the same state as me? Okay. Do you at least live... And Texas is a huge-ass state. So let me not say that. Do you live in Houston, Texas? And Houston's a huge-ass city. Do you live within 35 miles from where I reside? Okay. Cool. You know, like, let's see where this could go. But, look. But last time I did that, anyway. I say this to say, and I know I say that a lot, but no more weekend niggas. I need more, and I gotta act like I want more. And look, I'm not gonna say I regret it, because in that moment when I was like feeling those like sudden feelings of jealousy that was creeping in here and there, I was thinking to myself like, oh man, I regret it. Why did I do that? I was just feeling down about it. But I don't want to live like that. I made the choice to engage in sexual intercourse with him. I made the choice to be in this moment with him, to say I love you to a perfect stranger, and to be excited by him and all these things. I made that choice, and I enjoyed the moment. So let's not live in regret. You know, people out there who may regret a certain moment with somebody, look, I get it. I regret a lot of things, but I also don't want to dwell in remorse. You know, I want to just appreciate for what it was in that moment and not allow myself to feel bad and think about it again and again. I can't change what happened, but I can only move forward and go forward from here, you know? So anyway, let's call this episode Weekend Niggas. Weekend Niggas. Week. Let's say this is what does it say? Play on words. Week and niggas. A weekend niggas. But I'm gonna end it off here. I want to hear y'all thoughts. Tell me what you think. How to finally just cut the ties with the fuckboy. What is a weekend nigga to you? Oh, look, I'm interested. Leave a comment, all of that fun stuff. And I'm out. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud. And also leave a comment. God bless.